The following podcast is an RMG Media production.
Welcome to the Renaissance Podcast, a podcast for Renaissance women
and men
who want to create a modern-day Renaissance in their life and business.
We interview some of the most successful entrepreneurs and share their unique stories.
Are you ready to create your Renaissance? I am such a fan of yours.
Thank you.
So excited to have you on. You are like, 140,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
73,000 followers on Instagram, thousands of likes and followers on TikTok. Like, you are also an early pioneer of digital creating. 2009, if I'm correct.
Yeah. That's when I started posting on my blog. So I did start off in blogging, and thank you so much for that. But yeah, I started off 2009, right out of college. I did not get that dream that I thought, just going to college, graduating would land me an apartment downtown in Nashville. So I was at home, living with my parents, and I just started posting on the deck.
So you just started, what was the, what made you have that earning to post? Because that was a really kind of wild, wild west time in social media where no one really knew what was going to happen when you would post something at that time. So what was that like for you?
So basically, I started looking at blogs. I think back then it was Blogspot. So there were a couple girls that kind of stood out to me. Carla's Closet was one. She was like the first blogger I ever saw. And then I was like, what is this? I didn't even know what I was looking at. You know what I mean? So I never saw people just posting everyday life content. It was weird in a way. But I was like, I love her outfit. I love her shoe. She was a shoe girl and I'm a shoe girl. And I feel like a lot of people placed on me that I would be either a fashion designer, merchandising, something like that in fashion. And that just was not in my ministry. Of course, I would have loved to, but I actually majored in communication. So I wanted to be a news anchor. So I think this is perfect.
You're
right?
in your element right
Exactly.
here.
But when I saw that, I was like, what is this? They're just outside posting photos of their outfits, and then they would tell you where they got the things from. So my best friend, he decided he was into photography. So he took some pictures of me, and we just I took all of my jewelry that was tangled up and piled and took it over to his house, and we just started taking pictures. I posted them, and the rest is pretty much history. When I created the blog, the name was Pockets and Bows, which I still go by today. But that was not for me to post. It was literally just for me to look at other people's content. Because I was obsessed at the time. I don't know if you know, but 2009, it was all about dresses with pockets. We were like, oh, it has pockets and bows. So it just kind of came to us. And he kind of helped me with that name. But again, it was not something that I thought would be my moniker. And I'm every year, I'm I want to change it. But I feel like it's become me. Yeah. So, I'm embracing it.
Yeah. And you've had that handle for well over a decade,
long.
For a very long time.
Yes.
And it's your stamp now. People really know you. And you're a Nashville native too.
Yes.
Which is
an anomaly.
We don't get a lot of those on this
all.
show. It's a mostly local audience, but it's that's so crazy. And so when you were just starting out, what was your cadence of posting? Were you taking it really seriously out of the gate?
Absolutely not. Okay. So when I started, we did batch content. Back then, I didn't know what that meant. But now I know that it's batch content. So we basically did, I think, 4 or 5 outfits. And I just posted them every single day. And that's kind of how I started out. I always say that this kind of fell into my lap. Nothing happens by happenstance. It's supposed to be. But I was never conscious of what I was doing to create a future. And I was just pretty much discovered by Gabby Fresh. She was a pioneer in the plus size community. Huge blogger. I didn't even know who she really was. And she asked me if she could post me on her page. And from there, that's when everything blew up. I think it was maybe 2 months after I started posting on my own. So I would maybe post 5 days at a time. and then take a month off. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't consistent in that way. Whenever we decided to do kind of like batch content, that's when I would post back to back to back. And then after that, if I was inspired again to do it. But yeah, it's amazing how that kind of just fell into my lap. And now, like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And like
It's
how
crazy.
you've blown up. At what point did you start investing in YouTube, like, and start making those videos?
Yeah. So YouTube, I started in August of 2012. And literally the only reason was because people started to engage more on blogs. So we had comments back then, and they would want so much more. So by the time I've created like this platform for myself, people are now interested in the girl more so than just the outfits, right? And so people were like, oh, how do you do your makeup? What about your hair? All these different things. And it was just easier. Again, I'm a speaker more so than I love to write, but I didn't really know how to package up a blog post about how I curl my hair, except, you know, because back then it was just pictures. So it felt weird. And so I was like, you know what? I'll do a Q&A on YouTube and just literally to post it on my blog. And that's how it started.
Yeah. I mean, you're such a personality. So I think that makes a lot of sense where for you as a creator, video was the medium that was going to get the personality out there.
1,000%.
And that's what has resonated with your people. And that's totally why you've grown and grown and grown.
For sure.
Because they can see into you.
Yeah. And it's amazing to me, speaking to that growth, I grew a lot in writing on blogs. Like I was in my first magazine, 17 magazine, Vogue magazine, all these, Red Book magazine, all these things. When I started creating video content, that is when I started to resonate more with the community, more so than just a publication that is basically saying, oh, an emerging plus size, you know what I'm saying, type of personality coming onto the scene. It was more so, again, about the girl than the agenda that I think was being pushed at that time.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I mean, it's everything now, right? But you, again, you were such an early like pioneer of that, which is so, I mean, 2012 YouTube, it's like, that feels like 2001 Google, you know,
seriously.
Like that's just like such
seriously.
a wild
and it's changed so much. Even when I first started posting, I mean, I was just talking to someone the other day that's trying to get into YouTube, and the requirements are so different. Back then, I had to have 10,000 subscribers in order to become what they call a partner. Now you only need 1,000, but you need like 400,000 watch time. It's just crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, like it's really changed so much over the years. But I do feel like YouTube has become the millennials' television.
Totally. And we have a couple of Gen Zs that work in our office, and they're like, you know, we grew up with YouTube.
Yes.
We grew up with YouTubers. And I feel like with millennials, it was a little different for the millennial, like my generation, but like for Gen Zs, it was like, which YouTuber did you watch? Who did you binge every day after school? And it was just, you get home and you watch YouTube, and that's like so interesting. At what point did you start monetizing your presence?
I don't remember the exact month, but what I will say is that I do feel like I had a bit of an advantage because all of my followers came over from my blog to my YouTube. So it was not like this huge campaign of mine to get to 10,000. At that time, I don't even know if we were being monetized. And if we were on YouTube, I didn't know about it. And so it just came naturally. I cannot remember the exact month, but it was definitely within my first year.
Wow.
And my first paycheck was $150.
Whoop, whoop.
Paid my cell phone bill.
I mean, hey.
Yeah. And it happened so fast. That is another caveat because I was monetized on Blogger or Blogspot since the beginning because they always did AdSense. However, I never made a cent. I had it set to $100. So that will be my payout. Never made a cent for probably, 3 years? And then when I did go over to YouTube within the first, it had to be the first month or so. It was the first month. I made $150. So it was all of whatever I was making on my blog plus whatever that little $50 was. You know what I mean? It just happened fast.
Wow.
So that really showed me, and I think that motivated me as well, that I was being seen a little bit more because I've been doing that for 3 years. Of course, not to make money. It was just an extra.
Mm-hmm.
But to start creating content on YouTube and make my first check that first month, I was like, oh, this is where the people are.
You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, I can make money doing this.
Exactly.
And you just really enjoyed it. You
Yeah.
loved it. You were willing to do it without making money, I'm sure.
Yes.
Which is like, I think that's a big part of the game. But like, that's pretty incredible that within the first month, because I have heard people say it can take years before you see
seriously.
that. Yeah.
So yeah, that was crazy to me.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, that light bulb moment for me. And I was like, wow, I've been working at this for so long, you know?
Yeah.
And now I'm getting a money reward.
Of all that you do, what is your favorite part?
The community that I've created, for sure. I love fashion. I love style. And that's how I like to express myself. But I think more than anything, and something that I've learned over the years and what has been a discovered purpose of mine, is the way that I'm able to inspire women, and the community that I've created, a safe space for women who look like me, women who don't look like me, women who work a 9 to 5 and they realize that they don't have to be placed in a box. And also just the millennial diva that I am, that is literally able to create a full life for myself. And it's something so rewarding to do it by myself.
That's so cool. That's so empowering too. And just watching you, because you really are such a real person. I mean, I know that sounds funny. Like, yeah, I'm a real person, but it's like you have this authenticity to you. There's no BS.
No.
And you're just very straight, and you're like that when you're doing the clothing reviews as well.
Exactly. Yes.
And has that always come naturally for you, or have you kind of adapted to that through this career?
No, I think it's always been natural. I've always been extremely blunt. You can ask my parents. Anyone who knows me knows that I just say it like it is. I think over the years, I've learned to have more of a filter. But even saying that, I am always 100% myself and authentic in any and everything that I do. But I did learn that I felt like I wasn't giving my full personality when I'm creating content. And I think it's because it's that communications thing in me. It's like I'm here to present something to you all with the knowledge that I know. Of course, I add my little me in there, my personality, but it's very straightforward. And when I started doing live content, I was like, I love this. And you guys are really seeing who I am, because people think that I'm so serious. And literally 98% of the time, I'm so unserious.
You got to follow. You got to really learn
seriously.
to know. Yeah.
I love that though.
I love that too. And it's, it's about being yourself, right? Isn't that the secret sauce
Literally.
to being a content creator?
Literally. I think it is. I think it can be slow growing. If you're not the thing, you know what I mean? I always say that I started in a time where authenticity, I think, was rewarded. And now it's such a business and it's such a niche and it's such a thing that you have to come in curated. And back then, lighting didn't matter. Audio didn't matter that much. As long as you could see the girl and, what she was talking about, that's really all that we cared about. It was really we connected, with the audience. And I think now it is definitely more of a curated space. But I also love where it has, taken us to, because we're being taken way more serious by brands too. So it's a catch-22, but you can't lose yourself in it. And I'm so grateful that I started at in my 20s and not as a teenager, because I've learned myself, granted, over the years, but I've always had that solid foundation. And the internet did not shape me. I shaped my space.
I love that. I love that so much. Yeah, because speaking on your community, I think a lot of people listen to this show and they hear a lot of our guests say that, like, you've got to focus on building your community. You've got to pour into your community.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to someone who's struggling with that they're a new content creator, just a business owner who's trying to build community around their business?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? Do you have like an approach to that or something you would say?
So the advice that I would give to someone is to figure out your why. We have to have a why in order to be successful, because people want to feel something. And I always say this, you either, like, to be a content creator specifically, they have to want to be like you, want to look like you, inspired to do some of the things that you do. It's never just, you know what I mean? There's a why behind that. So even if I'm watching someone who's not my size, but I'm still watching their content for fashion, I am inspired by her style. So I may want to pull something from that, or I'm inspired, or, she makes me feel happy and good because her personality is, something that resonates with me. That you have to have that thing. And so what is the why? And that is how you then start to build a community, because they feel like they are connected to something, some type of mission, But the way that I do that is I literally just show up as myself. And I am a person that of course, I'm going to show you guys the outfits and all the things, but I always relate it back to me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why I love it, why I'm inspired to buy it. And even if it's because I saw Hailey Bieber with it or whatever, that is so real, right? Because so many people, especially younger girls, are inspired by the celebrities and all these things. So it's like, oh, wow, I'm looking at her content and she's inspired by someone as well. So I think just resonating is the most important. But finding out your why, I've learned over the years that my why is, or my purpose rather, is to inspire women. And how I do that in everything that I do comes back to that. And so that's always it's innate in me. I didn't have to sit down and write it out and figure it out. It's something that I've always done, but I've never articulated it. Once I articulated it, I was able to really package that up.
Dang, that's so good. I mean, it's just good because it's you, and that's all it is. There's nothing else to it.
That is the golden ticket. That is the golden ticket. Whatever none of us are the same, no matter how many similarities we have, right? And so we always are trying to figure out, what is the thing? What is the thing? It's not about what is the magic potion. It's the POV, the point of view. People want your point of view. And your people will find you. Now, again, if you are coming in with this huge business mindset and you have these super strict goals for yourself and you want to soar to the top, you got to play the game. There's no way around that. Hopefully, you can still remain authentic in that. I would hope. But you do have to play the game. I came in at a time where I didn't have to play the game, and it's worked for me. And I think I'm okay in that zone.
Yeah. And I feel like with everything you're saying too, what I feel from you is a confident energy, a confidence in you, a confidence in who you are, and even like a loving of who you are, which makes my heart really happy.
Oh, thank you.
Has that been something that you've always had too? Because I think that I can see why so many women would watch you and be so inspired by you, because they're like, man, she's just so herself. She doesn't look like she has the self-doubting that I have, the insecurities that I have. And, you put on these outfits that are just stunning and gorgeous, and everyone's like, man, like she's just rocking that outfit.
Yeah.
And how did you get to be that way? Or do you do anything to?
I don't. And I struggle with that question because I get that question so much.
I'm sure you do.
And I want to preface it by saying this. You can love yourself and you can be extremely confident and still not like certain things about you. But that is the beauty of life. and the beauty of the next day, to grow, to learn and evolve, right? So yes, I am very confident, and it does come natural to me. Let me just say it out loud for the first time. It does come natural to me, but I never thought to say that because there were things and are things that I don't like about myself. So I'm like, am I confident? When people are questioning it that, you know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah, I naturally love myself because even on my worst day when I hate everything I put on, hate my hair, hate my face, hate all these things, I still be like, but I'm still just that girl. Like at the end of the day, I am still, because nobody else is me.
Yeah.
You know, so I do think that that is innate. And I think that that was given to me. And I think that that is why, though I did not set out to do this, it's been placed on me to do this. Because, of course, I could create this platform by finding myself and finding my, confidence. But I kind of came into it already there. And I think that only because it was for me to touch someone else. So it's hard to explain that when people want to put that label of confidence on it.
Yeah.
But that literally is what confidence is, just loving yourself through it.
And passion too.
Passion.
I mean,
I'm so passionate.
I love it.
I'm so passionate.
I can eat it up. I feel it's an energy. I'm such an energy person, and I feel that with you. And I love, there's nothing that I think is more sexy in a woman than a passionate woman.
Thank you.
You know,
that is a compliment.
You are, and you're so passionate about what you do, and you pour so much heart into every single thing that you post.
Thank you.
And man, you're posting a lot. You're a busy girly, you know, and it's a lot of work just to maintain it. I love to talk about the evolution of the brand because, again, you know, we've talked about you were an early pioneer. You started such a long time ago. It's evolved so much.
Yes.
Your personal life's evolved so much. Your business life, your career life. Take us through how Pockets and Bows has evolved since day one into where it is now.
Oh, the brand.
The brand.
I would say over the years, I have been more intentional. And I don't know if this is a good thing, but I've definitely been a little bit more curated. And I think that it's because, again, I started off as the girl and not the brand. So that gets really personal. And I think when life stresses you, it's hard to be as personal. And so as my brand has grown, I have curated more of a space of still authenticity, but only what I want to show. And I think, like, again, it's just life sometimes. Life can sometimes get stressful, and it's not normal to always show, especially being a millennial. I mean, and I say this all the time. I have the most amazing community. I get the best comments. I don't have like this hate train behind me or anything like that. But it is not normal to receive an opinion every single day, every single hour, every single minute of anyone's life, no matter if it's amazing or negative. Even for you, or just to get dressed and someone saying, you look amazing, you're so beautiful, you're this, you're that. That's not normal. Or for someone to say, you're ugly, you're fat, you're this, you're that. That's not normal. That's not real life. But when you expose yourself to the internet, that becomes everyday life. And so it has definitely made me look at it and just be like, you know what? I want to show this and keep in line with the mission and the why. And I kind of have cut out some of the frills of it, if that makes sense. I've just cleaned it up a bit.
Yeah. So are you saying that you're not like, you're not as on 24/7 as like maybe you used to be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when I used to vlog, I would literally wake up out of my bed, and people think that this is fake stuff, when they do make fun of it now on TikTok, and I think it's hilarious because I was never that one, let me just say, never the one to go set up the tripod, lay in the bed and come back and be like, oh, good morning. No, never that. But I would wake up bonnet on like, hey, y'all, well, and it's like, that's frill now. Unless it's something that needs to be said in that moment and authentically. But I don't vlog that much like that anymore. I tend to now vlog when I'm doing something like today, or when I know that, it can resonate with someone other than, a yawn and making my coffee every single day.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, to a point, it can get a little old,
Yes, for sure.
I mean, to each their own. Like, there are people that so have those creators that they're so obsessed with that they're like, I want to know what she's doing every moment of every day.
Seriously.
But I do think that there's a time where you as a person evolve and you kind of move past that. I'm like, just give me the quick highlights,
And I'm becoming that girl. There are people that I love so much that started way before me. And can we say names here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's Judy's Life. She started, she was like one of the first girls to do makeup on YouTube.
Wow.
She's evolved into like family content. They don't live this extravagant life of doing something every day. Most of the content is in the home. They're making the same coffee every day. They're eating pretty much the same things every day. But that's a comfort for me, and I still love that.
Yeah.
But I just don't think that that's me.
Yeah.
Because in my real life, I wouldn't even talk to anybody that much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it started becoming like, oh, I'm vlogging. I need to show every little aspect because I didn't know what I was doing. Here I am again, starting something new, not knowing what I'm doing. I'm pulling things that I've seen other people do, like It's Judy's Life, and I see that she just vlogs the most randomest things. But then after a while, I'm like, that's not even who I really am. I don't even talk to anyone that much. So to pick up the camera and talk, like, that's not authentic to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that content, but it's just like over the years, I've just kind of scaled it down and made it a little bit more niche.
Yeah. And you have to evolve your brand to continue to have longevity, to continue to be scalable, to continue to, be evolving.
Yeah.
And so you have to do things like that make you want to still be in the game. I like that you called it a game earlier. Play the game.
Yeah. It makes me want to continue.
Yeah.
Because at a point, it was like, do I want to continue? Because I'm literally making my entire life a reel. And that's not who I am, And that's why I was getting burnt out.
Mm.
So.
Yeah, and you got to protect your burnout.
Mm-hmm.
We have to.
Let's talk about the burnout.
I mean, do you have days where you just want to throw your phone?
Yeah, throw me. Not
get me out of here.
Not off of anything, but you know what I mean? Throw myself into the bed for sure. But yes, on the way here, I was just having to give myself grace. Number one, I was late. That is such a thing for me. It's me being late. But today I was going to be on time, early.
I'm a late person, so I really have a lot of compassion for late people.
Real bad.
Oh,
It's real bad.
I know. And then you
hate it for me.
You get people that, me too. I hate it for me. You get people that are like, that's so selfish to be late. And you're like, you know what? It's not. I swear. I'm not being selfish. It's just that I struggle getting myself out the door.
Let me tell you something. I get ready super fast. People never believe this. I'm like an hour get ready girl.
That's amazing.
Full makeup,
Full
hair,
glam.
all the things. I don't know what it is in the last 30 minutes that's, oh, I forgot this, run back upstairs. Oh, don't have this, run back up. And it's like, I said, why is this happening to me? What's happening? Like, it's every time. And I can get ready it doesn't matter if it's 3 hours in advance.
Right.
It's literally the worst.
Yeah. There's got to be a study on us.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I saw this
I'm the
TikTok
same.
and this guy was like, does anyone have an issue with time like me? He's like, I woke up, it's 8 o'clock. Next thing you know, I eat lunch. It's 5 p.m. Now it's time for bed and I'm waking up the next day. Like literally that.
That's literally my life.
No, seriously.
It's really sad.
Because what's happening during the day?
What goes on? It's like a vortex. And then you're just like, And then I'll be in bed and it's 11 p.m. And I'm like,
seriously.
oh,
no, for me
no.
too.
Man, I
2 a.m. I'm like,
got a lot of emails to catch up on.
Just now relaxing. Not it's too, like, I don't understand it.
I wonder if it's something to do with digital. I don't know. I feel like we're all in our phones. We're existing in our phones. And I don't mean just like scrolling. Who has time to scroll all day? We don't have time.
Literally, no.
You know what I mean?
Especially when you do it, it's hard to look at things.
Yeah. I mean, I got to have a boundary with the scrolling because I can't do it. But, well, you're busy. And I like to talk to busy people because we're busy. So you also have a major finance career, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that. How are you balancing that and this?
Well, actually, I don't work in finance anymore.
Oh. Okay. So
but I worked in
have
finance
that well researched
for a very long time.
Okay.
And that fell into my lap as well. This is a ongoing thing for me that people on the outside may think, wow, how lucky. But to me, it's like, what's happening? You know, I'm like, what is this? I'm so grateful and so blessed, but why? When that's not my goal. So I struggle with goals, I think. Even though I create goals for myself or set them, a lot of the things that have like really transformed my life just kind of was put on me. And it's just interesting. But anyway, I don't.
Do you
work
mean
in
that
finance.
you struggle with, sorry to interrupt you, but like maybe like where you're going a little bit?
Yeah.
I relate to that. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
I'm doing it.
We're
I'm
doing
in
a
it.
lot.
I'm working.
It's going. It's growing. It's going, and it's glowing.
But
where
arch nemesis question of life, what do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Too.
In the bed, probably scrolling you know what I mean? Like, I cannot, I literally hate that question.
It's
triggering.
I agree.
It's triggering for me.
Because you're like, I'm just doing me.
I'm just doing life.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm like content, like you said earlier. I'm passionate. I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have an end goal. I don't have an end goal either.
And you know what? Again, back to the grace thing. Let me just throw the whole thing away. But back to the grace thing, I don't have an end goal, but I have a why.
Yeah.
And I've learned that that's enough and that is okay. Because I'm literally letting Jesus take the wheel. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So I used to feel so incompetent without that full big goal scope, especially working in corporate for so long. It was so much easier because they made the goals for me. And I grew in that, in that space, like managing a team, all the things. But it's like, I didn't have to really, you sit in the work, you do it, and you're rewarded for it. And that's kind of like, that has been my life. So having to verbalize that, especially in entrepreneurship, and I don't know if we call YouTube entrepreneurship.
Oh yeah.
Do we do that?
I do.
Don't.
I think anyone that has created something from scratch, whether it be a brand presence, a brand, a digital presence, a community. I mean, you've built this thing.
Mm-hmm.
To me,
From the ground up.
From the ground up, like that didn't exist before.
Yeah.
And it is a business because you monetize and you make money from it, you make a living from it. So 1000% entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know what? I've always felt so like not confident enough to say that.
We're going to change that.
You know what
today.
I mean? I was an entrepreneur at one point. I had my own boutique. But I considered that entrepreneurship. What I've done over a decade, I don't know why it's so hard for me to say that, But thank you for that.
I think it's like just the way that entrepreneurship is marketed right now, that it's kind of like, but I think YouTube and digital creating is the new wave of entrepreneurship,
1000%. Yeah.
Because if you think about it, we say about our team being a social media agency, I'm like, every single person in my office is an influencer and is an entrepreneurial-minded person because we're helping businesses grow on social media. We're creating communities and business and business growth that didn't exist before. I mean, you have to be so entrepreneurial to be in that line of work.
For
Same
sure.
with yours. I mean, gosh, creating the video concepts that you're doing for the brands that you're working with and the photos and just every element and the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into what you produce for brands
Yeah.
is amazing.
It's definitely a creative space for sure.
Oh,
And
man.
I don't consider myself to be a creative, even though.
Really?
No. And I think that maybe that's the thing is like, I need to accept the thing, like who I am, even though those are not things that I've ever put like importance on. I've always felt like I was more business, so that's why corporate is just like, I love that. But what I realized, and even sitting here today talking to you, I think it was just that I didn't want to own it. I just wanted to ride the train and climb the ladder, but without having to say it out loud and put that pressure on myself. So when I say I'm an entrepreneur and I am a YouTuber and putting that in the entrepreneur box, I don't know why that feels heavy.
Man. Yeah.
But when I was doing my boutique,
Easy.
Yeah, because I'm literally working so that someone else can buy something from me. And there's employees there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's weird. I think putting that importance on creativity is an issue for me.
Yeah.
And I'm learning that as I'm sitting here as well and speaking it out loud, like, I think I've always looked down on creativity as far as a means to make money. And I know that some of the most creative people make great money, but I never wanted to lean on that for like to live my life.
Right.
I want someone else to write that check because not who I am, but because I've done a good job in what I've been asked to do. And it's more black and white. That is what it is. I'm a black and white type of person.
It needs to be black or white.
You told me the requirements. I've given you that. I will be paid for that. YouTube is not that. Okay? I like you today. I don't like you this day. I'm not clicking on your stuff today. I'm going to like what you have. Not going to click your link. Going to go over here. And you know what I mean? Like, and it's just, that's too much for me. Like, I don't like to think about that. But I feel like if I say I'm an entrepreneur as a YouTuber or a content creator, I have to think about all of those things. And it makes it not fun.
Yeah. I mean, you're just having to just battle an algorithm every day instead of a boss. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's awful.
Yeah.
And I think that leaning into that grace thing that you were talking about earlier, like you really got to do that. There's just going to be days where it's just not going to be it for you.
Exactly. Oh yeah. That's finishing my thought on that. I remember pre-COVID, I would go to work, 8 to 10 hour work days, sometimes longer. Because I worked in corporate healthcare. And I would come home and film 2 videos, edit, get up, go to work the next day, balance a relationship, date night, all the things. Now it seems like I have to convince myself to do more than one task per day. And during that time, I never thought that I was doing anything great or amazing. And so it's really interesting how we view ourselves in comparison to what we're really doing, because when I look at that girl now, I'm so proud of her because I like a worker. We like busy people, right? I was super busy and I was happy. But I think now it's like, I wish I was that. And at that time I was saying, what am I doing? I'm not doing enough.
You're doing the most.
I was doing the absolute most. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm realizing that now you don't know what you had until it's gone. Like that drive that I had, and I think also because of that 9-to-5 routine helped, because even during COVID, when I was still working, I worked from home up until recently, still in finance. But even working from home, I started seeing that shift of just less motivation, a lack of motivation. And so working from home, I'm like, still, I have to convince myself to do 2 tasks, you know?
That I was going to ask you that, like, what is I'm sure every day is different for you, but I want to, like, I'm so curious, your day and the life and like the operation, like, what does that look like?
Yeah, so it depends on the day, of course. I would say a full content day for me looks like waking up. I have to create routine. Planning for me is pivotal. It's so imperative. Literally to the point to where I'm literally writing in my planner, plan out your day. Like, it's that serious.
I'm the same. We're very similar.
Yeah, because it's like my brain can't hold it all. I think I'm overwhelmed by the task. And I think before when I worked, it didn't feel like that because I had already accomplished so much in the day. And I think now I feel like I'm in control of every last accomplishment of the day. I don't know, it's weird. But anyway, so I would wake up, create a routine for myself by, doing skincare, having some coffee. I have turned into my grandmother. I have to sit down with my coffee and enjoy that moment for at least 30 minutes.
It's a ritual.
It is a ritual. And that is my time to where I get to check my email or scroll or just whatever it feels like I've let the day go before the day has even started. I have to calm my mind. After that, I then decide, because I get that boost of energy from the coffee. So then it's like, let's really get dressed. Now, if it's an edit day, comfy clothes, I try to put on something that is not just my robe. But a lot of days it's just my robe.
We love the real.
Yes. But, I'm editing, so I may edit a video. Then, of course, if I'm working with brands, I'm having to make sure that everything is in there, like curating that space just to sit there and do all the things that they're asking of me. Then I have like an admin time where I am responding to emails or responding to comments or whatever have you. So that's a pretty easy day. I love edit days because I literally don't have to. I'm such an introvert.
Interesting.
Yeah. And
you like your you time.
Oh my gosh.
Your time where you don't have to get glam and just kind of, you can just be.
I hate putting on makeup now. I don't know what it is. I used to love playing in makeup.
Same.
Now it's like
a chore.
It's a chore. And I'm like, these are the days where I just get to sit at home and be ugly and just do my thing. And I love that. And so those are my favorite days. Content days are a little rougher because it's the mindset. Number one, I know why I watch certain people. I don't care what you have on. You can have on the latest and the greatest. If you don't make me feel good, I don't want to watch you. I can't sit through it. It is a feeling. It's not even what you're saying or anything like that. So I have to make sure I'm in that good space to just give me, even if it's not a good me that day, but it's authentically me, and it is on purpose of being kind to myself. So that I'm then able to admit that. You know what I mean? Like, give that out. So even if someone can be like, oh, I'm having a rough day. It seems like she's struggling today too. They can still resonate with that, but it's coming with kindness too and grace. It's not coming with grumpiness and anger and,
Yeah.
So I have to create that space for myself. And that comes with my coffee. I may take a little extra hour to like just be inspired or just do whatever I need to do. Meditation. I just got this Aura ring and I'm like obsessed.
Oh, I heard those are amazing.
I'm obsessed.
Okay.
So they have like these like meditation things on their videos, or, you can just listen. I'm into podcasts now. So whatever it takes. And then hopefully the night before I've prepared. So I've ironed or steamed all the things. Then I get my makeup on. Once I get that makeup on, it's go time. So it's like you got to set up your equipment and then you have to sit down. And people think trying on clothes is the easiest thing. It is so many parts to that. Like I sit down and I talk about the items. I have to familiarize myself with it because I'm not just going to try it on, not give you information about the brand or information about sizing or, like it takes a lot that goes into that. Then on top of that, I have to try the stuff on for you. So that's a whole nother setup.
Yeah.
We have a sit-down setup. We have a stand-up setup. We have a sit-down lighting. We have stand-up lighting, you know?
Yeah, lighting
So
is everything.
It is everything.
Yeah.
So, those are the longer days. And I try to do those when I have something else going on that evening so that I did not waste my full glam.
So we go to dinner, we go
Yes.
do something.
Happy hour.
Go be seen.
And be seen.
That's right.
Because putting on $50 foundation to sit in my living room still does not
Feels wrong.
It feels so wrong.
God, it feels like just taking money and just burning
throwing
it in the fire.
Yes.
I mean, you got to at least take some selfies or something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you are so amazing and so inspiring. I could literally sit here and listen to you talk all day, and I
thank
will.
you.
I'll go like binge your YouTube later. So kind of as we're wrapping, I always ask my women, we mostly have women on here, but guests, a couple of questions. So one, what inspires you the most to continue serving and doing what you do? And then the other question I'll just go ahead and ask is, what is your definition of a Renaissance woman?
Okay, what inspires me to continue to do what I do is because I have a unique, and my point of view matters. And it doesn't matter who's doing what I'm doing, if they look like me or if I look like them, however you want to frame that. People respect my point of view. I respect my point of view because I know it's coming from an authentic place. And I see and I receive so many messages from women that literally just by me existing on this earth has changed their lives. And I think that is incredible, but also mind-boggling. I'm literally existing. Even without some of the videos, it's just like, I saw you the other day and I didn't say anything, but I just love how confident you were and your smile brightens up a room. I get messages like that. Is so weird to me. And just people feeling comfortable enough to come and speak to me in my DMs or sending me their whole life story in an email, wanting my, advice. And I'm like, I really have a place here. So that keeps me going because it's not just about me, because of what I have been blessed to do. It is literally about who I'm touching. And that is why I am still here. So that motivates me. I love that.
Sad.
A Renaissance woman. A Renaissance woman to me is a woman who is not afraid to just create the life that she wants. And being okay with that looking different than what society has told us it should be. A Renaissance woman is a millennial diva, in my opinion. We are hoping for the Gen Zs to get there.
We're praying for the Gen Zs.
Yeah, but I think a Renaissance woman to me, before Beyonce even coined that phrase, I really do feel that it's the millennial girls, because we have lived in such a weird space of we know what it's like before the internet took over our lives. But we also know what it feels like to live for the internet or feel the pressure. And we're really trying to make that stamp right down the middle. And I think that is there's so much strength in that, because no matter how confident you are, no matter how old you are, you can be influenced in a way that is not conducive to a good life. And what I mean by that is just overindulging in social media norms, and not even societal norms, because now we have social media norms. And I think that is such a dangerous place to be in because it's so ever changing. So you're never grounded in who you are. And I think we have that thing right down the middle. And even if we don't, we are looking for it every single day. So that's what a Renaissance woman to me is. She's busy because we are never doing enough according to ourselves.
very well said. That was
Never
beautiful.
enough.
Oh, no, never. I mean, and I don't know when that will ever change. I don't know if it will.
I'm looking for the soft life.
We're seeking for that.
Yeah.
Softness, please find us.
Yeah.
Help us be softer to ourselves because, man, I
Seriously.
just like kick my own ass every single day.
No, seriously. We're our worst,
So
critics.
true. I know.
And I think it really resonates with us because we've just seen both sides of it, but we're also living in it and we still want to be cute and that girl, but also we are looking for solid foundation, is this, I think that we ask this question a lot. Tell me if you do this. Do I really want this? Or do I feel like this is what I should
want and be doing?
Mm.
Wow.
Literally every day.
Literally every day. Is this really what I want, or is this just what I feel like I should have?
In a serious way, up into like your career decisions, down to the pumpkin spice latte at Starbucks.
Everything.
Yeah.
Is it just culture
Yeah.
and society?
Mm-hmm.
Is it social media?
Mm-hmm.
Is it parental pressure?
Yes.
Is it sibling pressure? Is it spousal pressure?
Yeah.
Friend pressure?
Just pressure.
Pressure. God,
The pressure is getting worse.
The pressure is getting worse. And I think it's really great that you're so open on that topic because I think there's so many people that feel that way.
Yeah.
But we don't say it.
We don't speak it enough. And I think it's because we don't know how to articulate it because we're literally fighting our way through it every day.
Every day is a
Every
battle.
day, we're never just comfortable. Right?
We can never just be,
No.
you know?
Because now contentment is not good. Even when you said you're content, I wanted to stop you.
You're like, no.
I'm like,
Nope,
not
sis.
content. You know what I mean? But is that a crime?
Right. Yeah.
Is that a crime?
The crime of not being content. I mean, God, I don't know. I mean, we're
because
on this life
it feels
to do
like it's not evolving. And I think we've been whatever this life is for us, we felt like we constantly have to be doing something. And if it's not new, then it's not doing something.
Right.
So it's just, that content word. I was like,
You're like,
Wait a minute.
we got to go back. Yeah.
But I had to let it marinate.
I see what you mean. I think I can see people following you and thinking that just because of your confidence and your stature and just who you are. But after talking to you, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, and you're just a doer.
Yeah.
You just do.
I am such a doer.
You are.
And you know what? I am content enough
But
to
not
keep
100%.
doing.
She's content to just keep going and going and
In
going.
that lane, though.
Yeah.
I'm not always trying to find a new lane. I don't burden myself with that.
Good.
No, I don't do that. That is one thing. I can be content in my lane, and I'm learning to be okay. Even 'cause I feel like people, especially what I do, they want me to, what's next? What's next? The same thing.
Rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Consistency equals success.
Consistency. Yeah.
I mean,
Higher quality in everything that I do, but I'm not looking to create a whole new lane in every aspect of my life.
I think
Sometimes,
that's
yes,
smart.
that's nice, but I'm not going to burden myself with that. So I do know, and I'm coming into that I am confident. Why shouldn't I be, though? Why shouldn't I be, even if I've cried last night? Why shouldn't I be? That's the question, though.
it's
why?
the question and that we're in these bodies. This is all we have. This is all we have.
Every
this
day.
brain, this whole thing, this is it.
Yeah.
We're locked in.
Yeah.
So we might as well
Even
be
eating your
fine.
favorite thing every single day, you're going to start critiquing it,
That's right.
right?
Yeah.
Your favorite.
Yeah.
Coffee's good today. It ain't that good today. That's me in my body. That's me in my head. That's me in my
And that's-
accomplished. You know what I'm saying?
Totally. And that's so normal.
Yeah.
I mean, that just is. We're never going to love it every day.
Hello. Let's write that down and put it on the back of a
Let's
t-shirt.
do it. That's going to go on the wall. You're doing great. You're not going to love you every day.
I love that. I vlogged this and didn't even read it.
Well, Brittany,
Yes.
you are amazing.
Thank you.
I'm so glad. And so for everyone who's listening, for our Lucky Renaissance podcast listeners, Brittany may or may not be speaking at the 2024 Renaissance Women's
She will be in the building.
Summit. She will be in the building, y'all.
Yes.
So
I'm
mark your
super
calendars.
excited.
Oh my God. February 24th is going to be incredible. She's going to be on our influencer panel.
Yes.
It's going to be, y'all, it's going to be major. So
I'm so excited. And I thank you so much for this opportunity, my first podcast, and creating this space for me to take up space and to give myself grace, but also a pat on the back and the accolades. So thank you for creating this for us, you know?
thank you.
I appreciate that. And I'm super excited for February because I want to continue that conversation with like-minded women. And I know you have a great lineup.
It's going to be really good.
Yeah.
And anyone that's a friend of Jasmine Sweets is welcome here. And
Yes.
she just is the best ever. And Bonnie
Exactly.
Kirby. And I'm just so
Mhm.
grateful for the Nashville connections that brought you and me together.
Yes.
So with that, where can everyone, I'm sure everyone's already following you, but where can everyone find you on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, everything?
Yeah, so if you just type in Pockets and Bows in Google, you will find me. But my Instagram is Pockets and Bows. On TikTok, I think I'm the same. I go by Britt over there. And then, which is a secret, so I'm just letting y'all know now. I usually keep TikTok, real close and dear because it's just dogs and deer, and I love that. So, but my YouTube, because I told you earlier, I wanted to get away from Pockets and Bows, so I changed it to Brittany Pockets and Bows. Just added a longer name.
No.
Just
Listen.
come on now.
Hey, it
But
works.
I feel like my name is just so common that I can't just go by my name. So, and I was just maybe scared to let go of the brand. So I'm
I get
Brittany Pockets and Bows over on YouTube.
Got it. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You are a light, and I'm so glad that you were on our show. And everyone, just be following Brittany and engage with her over there. And we will be sharing more as we get closer to the Renaissance Women's Summit. So thank you for being on the show, Britt.
Of course. Thank
Signing
you.
off. Okay. Bye.
Bye, guys.